How can you validate if your ADAS specification is correct before starting to develop the actual system? How can you detect errors in that specification automatically? And once the system has been developed, how can you test automatically that the ADAS meets its functional specification? Let's take the example of the lane change controller. After a request from the driver, the maneuver begins. The system will measure the lateral distance from the car sensor to the lane markings and stop the maneuver when it is at the designated distance. The function is described in CATIA stimulus with this state machine that also includes textual requirements. We place the state machine in a test environment and we stimulate it starting with a nominal use case. The latter is a mix of constraints on the inputs and an automaton, including some indeterminism. We added an observer containing a safety requirement. If the driver has decided to stop the lane change, the lateral distance must not change anymore. Let's launch the simulation. Let's do one execution of 50 steps. The state machine is animated. You can see that after the command start is received, the lateral distance decreases until it is smaller than 0.3 meter as specified. The safety observer is satisfied. Let's perform 50 executions in one shot. CATIA stimulus has generated different inputs from the same test scenario. All executions respect the safety. Let's look at a second scenario. This time, after a random delay between 3 and 12 seconds, the driver aborts the lane change. We drag and drop the second scenario into the test environment. Let's perform 50 tests again. This time, the safety is violated. Let's open the error message. A simple click shows us that at the execution number 1, at 12.5 seconds, the specification violates the safety. Indeed, after the stop command, the lateral distance was first stable and then a change occurred, which violates the safety requirement. Here is a second version of the same specification. Let's see if our corrections work. We drag and drop the V2, restart the tests. Let's perform 500 executions. The safety is this time respected. Let's bring back the first scenario and perform 500 executions again. The safety is again respected. We can give now a strongly validated specification to the development team. Once they have done their job, possibly with Simulink, they generated an FMU which we must test against its specification. Let's drag and drop the implementation into our test environment. We create a second observer. Let's call it spec observer. We drag and drop the validated spec into the observer. Let's perform again 500 executions automatically. The spec observer has been violated. If we click on this error message, we can see that at the run number 0, at 9.5 seconds, the code violates the specification. If we look at the lateral distance, the maneuver stopped at 0.71 meter, whereas it should have gone under 0.3 meter. You can perform numerous functional tests completely automatically without writing any single test case. Any violation of the specification or of the safety will be detected automatically. Try CATIA stimulus.